Hello and welcome to Not So Awesome Review, and today we're looking at the Plunderlings Captain Teel action figure by Lone Coconut. And I was actually asked by Lone Coconut if I wanted a figure to review randomly, just sitting on my phone, got a message from them, and they were like, hey, do you want a figure to review? And I was like, yeah, okay, so here we are about a week and a half later, and just thank you guys to the people there, to the person who reached out to me, and yeah, I'm grateful just, you know, for somebody asking, hey, do you want to review our product? Because that's cool. That's just cool. I don't really have no other words. But of course, this is a review, and I will be just, you know, talking about it, how I feel about it. Not gonna, you know, say it's great if it's not. I'm not gonna say, you know, just it'll be just a normal review, in case anyone is wondering. That said, I do want to start off with just one thing on the box, and that is the fact that it does have these little ear thingies that you can kind of put in on the sides to make him have ears. He actually has his feet on the bottom. It's a cool box. I'm not gonna lie. It's not super cheap. If I had one criticism for the box, which is really weird and really random, let's actually move the figure out of the way. It's the most random thing, I know, but it's the fact that the art on the back of it is fuzzy. It's not clear. Like, the rest of it is all super nice, glossy and stuff. It's just that the image on here looks like it either when they when they got it to whoever prints, maybe they didn't give them the right quality of the photo or something. 300 it's a 300 DPI. Like, it feels like somebody gave them a lower quality photo than 300, and they printed it in this material, and it comes off fuzzy. I know it is the weirdest thing to complain about, but I am gonna be fair here, and it's just odd. It's not super clear. It's like, the photo, you can tell, was done with a DSLR, at least I'm assuming, because it does have the nice background blur and everything. It's a good photo. It's just printed on the box. It's a little blurry. I don't know. Again, maybe they just didn't export the photo. My bad, hitting the camera. Maybe they didn't export the photo at the right quality or something, but yeah, just odd to me. But aside from that, box is cool. Figure is actually really good. So Captain Teel here does come with some accessories. We're going to run through those really quick. And those include his pirate hat, a pair of open hands, a pair of hands to hold his items, which include oh man, I don't even remember, periscope, right? I don't know. Is that the right word? The little, you know, thingy that extends the pirate's look out of. One of those. I should actually know the name of that for many reasons, but I'm not going to get into that right now. And he does come with a kind of slingshot looking gun. It's interesting. They're cool. The quality on them is it's less than the figure. I can tell that. I don't know if they feel decent. They don't feel too bad, but I do feel like they do have like a risk for breaking because of how rigid they are. If they were maybe a little bit softer plastic, it might be a little bit better. But then again, I complain about rubbery toys, so what do I know on that? Because the Halo figures, the guns on those are super rubbery, and then you get them out the packaging, and then you can't do anything with them because they just flop around too much, or they're just completely warped. These, they're definitely not going to warp. I would just say be careful because you don't want to break them. They do have that kind of feel to them. But aside from that, they look pretty good. I really have no complaints. The paint on it is pretty nice. They're a little bit smudging right there, but the silver on here looks good. The handles look good. And then the yellow on the other one looks really nice. I should have remembered the name of this properly, but we're not going to get into that right now. Aside from that, he does come with a couple of faces. He comes with a smiling face, a happy teeth showing face. I guess it's another smile just with his teeth showing. And then one more smile, but this time with his mouth open. And all of them look adorable. I mean, that's pretty much the best way to put it. He looks nice. He looks friendly. And yeah, I'm going to get more into that in a second. But he looks nice and friendly. That's the look I see when I see these. But one more thing is he does come with this little hook thing here, which my assumption, because I don't think there is a photo of it. I didn't look up any actual product photos. I mean, I did, but I don't remember. Is that this probably pops on the back of his vest, because he does have a peg hole in the back of his vest. So I'm assuming that pops on there, and then we can hook up his little gun to that. That's my assumption for that. I'm going to try and figure that out as we go. I did take him out of the box and mess with him, so I'm not going into this blind, but it is a good figure. And like I said, he does have that really friendly, like, I'm a good guy look, and on the one hand, it's really nice. I really like it. On the other hand, I do kind of wish we had a little bit of angrier faces, because I don't know. For some reason, I just see these and I think Goblins, Legend of Zelda, but they're their own thing. And they do have new ones that they've announced that look a little bit less friendly. I'm going to put it that way. And yeah, the one thing I wish we had, again, kind of a random, I wouldn't say complaint, but random thing is I wish we had a backstory. We have the names of these characters. We know they're pirates. So I wish we had a small blurb, telling us a little bit more of the world, a little bit more of the characters. As somebody who loves to write, as somebody who loves fantasy, or as somebody who loves pirates, I would love to see, a nice little bio for each character, a backstory. I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure they're building on something, but that's one thing that I feel like the character is missing. Something to put in the box to tell us a little bit more about this guy, aside from the fact that he is a captain and his name is Teel. But anyways, moving on from that. So taking a closer look at Teel himself, I will say that he looks really good. I really don't think I have any complaints for the sculpt or anything. I mean, we have nothing to compare it to, like, art-wise, I guess, but it looks nice. It's done in a really nice way. The paint on it is probably my favorite thing when it comes to the aesthetic, because the skin tone is so flat that it makes it look more real. It makes it look more premium. It's a really nice look, and the fingernails being glossy does a great, contrast to that. The pants are done really nice. The belt is painted along with the belt buckle. Then the vest is a nice kind of rubbery material, and it looks really nice. Now I will say, because it is hand painted, do expect a little bit of bleeding through some places with the paint, like the hat. I want to say there is some red. Yeah, there's some red in places like that there shouldn't be, but it's not a big deal. Again, with the yellow, I think there's like a little splotch like right there that you might be able to see. Again, not really a big deal, at least not in my opinion. Hand-painted things, it just shows they're doing this, kind of more uniquely. There's more manpower behind it, which I like, instead of having like automated stuff where they could have printed it and had it all spray painted one color, and then every single one has the same exact error. That's less likely to happen because you're doing it by hand. Aside from that, the gradient effect on the ears for the color looks really good. He does have a little color variation in the elbows, and not really any shading or anything like that going on with the skin tone, but it doesn't, again, it really doesn't need it, because the flat color just looks good. It looks really good, honestly. The only weird thing on mine is there is a little bit of extra paint, like a little bit of a flap right there. I'm sure I can probably cut that off with a little blade. You might get things like this where you can see the plastic color underneath where they molded it. We have some paint chipping there, which is kind of expected, first of all, but second, I don't know. Maybe it is painted. I can't tell. I can't tell if this one's painted. I think this one's not painted and this one just got paint on it, which is what my guess is. I don't see why they would end up painting the joints anyway, because, well, you're going to get chipping like that. So you might get some paint looking like that under there, but again, not really a big deal at all. Yeah, it's good. Paint-wise, body-wise, no complaints. Nothing loose on the figure either. All the joints were pretty much perfect. The right arm was a little bit tight, but the box does tell you that if anything feels tight, you might have to heat it up. And yeah, just definitely be gentle. Use a hairdryer, and you'll be able to get it. I was able to do it by just popping the hand off and just kind of working the joint a little bit, moving it up and down. Not too hard, because you can kind of feel when it's definitely not going to go, and you don't want to push it, so I'll actually just do it right now. You can feel it when it doesn't want to move, and you'll start seeing it bend. If you start seeing or feeling anything bend, automatically stop and go heat it up. But I felt it, just, okay, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, so that's why I did it by hand without heating it up. Just make sure to go all the way down and all the way up. And yeah, so joints super tight, work really well. You can see a little bit of the paint coming off there, which is probably why the joints get a little bit stuck. Because again, hand painted means that you might get stuff in like the little joints here, and may kind of hinder it, especially when the paint dries and everything. Which, funny enough, I spent a good day looking at this figure in the box when I got it, and I was thinking to myself, what does this remind me of? And it honestly reminds me of the NECA figures. The turtle NECA figures, specifically the ones from Target, from the animated series, and the Turtles in Time ones, mostly the villains that are hand painted, like Leatherhead And even one of these guys, which I'll just put out right now, who's just gonna dwarf this guy, so I don't know if you'll be able to see him, but yeah, it reminds me so much of this because a lot of this is painted on in the same way this is. I would assume that this figure being mass produced is more factory painted, but it's kind of like the same thing. There's a layer of paint over the actual molded plastic, and you know, every once in a while you get a little chipping on the joints and everything, and that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of NECA, and not just in the paint, but in the way the quality of the figure feels. It's not bad. It's really good. It's tight. It's there. It's nice. I actually really like the articulation on this figure, which is what we're going to get into right now. Okay, so actually right before we get to articulation, I do want to talk about the hat for a second because there is a magnet on the bottom of it, and there is a magnet on the top of the head, meaning that the hat is magnetized to him, so it goes on there and it stays on and won't just kind of like fall off or anything, which honestly is a great idea on their end. This is kind of the stuff that you would want like the big companies to do, and they don't. It's kind of funny because that's how I feel about a lot of things about this figure, because they also actually sent one of these Plunderlings, what is it, Plunderlings, right there, the Teel hatching crate, which actually includes 2 little bodies and an extra pair of hands, which is a pair of fists, which is great. I'll talk more about this after we're done with the articulation section, but really quick, articulation. So articulation goes like this. Head can move up about that much, down about that much, left, or pivot left and right, I should say, move all the way around, and yeah, pretty good movement. I mean, there's really nothing to complain there. I wish he could look down maybe a little bit more, but not too much. It's not bad, especially when you add in the joint he has right here. You can look down a pretty good amount, so not bad at all. Can lean back pretty darn good right there. Side to side really well. Arm, again, that one kind of popped off on me, but it's fine. Can go up that much. Come down about that much. Do need to get that in there a little bit tighter, but yeah, up, down, all the way around. It does have a single jointed elbow, which usually I'm not a fan of, but it is 90 degrees, and because it's a smaller figure, it kind of, you know, captures what you need. You don't need it to go in too much more, especially when you add in the fact that his hand is hinged. So, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. If it wasn't for the wrist, yeah, I might be like, okay, I wish I could go in a little bit more. But no, the wrist definitely saves the elbows, and that's just really good. It can go back that way too, and rotate all the way around as well. Is there a waist joint? No, there's no waist joint, so we don't have any actual waist movement down here. But again, you don't really need it because you can move his upper torso right there. So pretty much all the articulation you need is right there. As for the legs, they can go out that much, which is decent enough. Can kick forward about that much. Can't really kick back because of his butt, which is huge. I'm not... it is. It's just... It's huge. It stands out. I feel like somebody really took liberties with the butt because you can definitely see it there. And yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, it does get in the way from kicking back. It does have double jointed knees. They go basically all the way. He does have upper thigh rotation, which is funny. Okay, is it moving? Now it's moving. There we go. It's funny because you can shift it from the leg up there. But yeah, you have that upper thigh rotation for more movement. Then you get a left and a right there for the ankle. Can't really move forward too much, but he does move back a okay amount. Not, you know, super great, but enough to get him into some decent enough poses, which is really all you can ask for right there. So articulation, not bad. It's actually, for the size of the figure, really good. Anyways, like I said, they also sent along these Plunderlings Hatchlings, which at the moment of filming this, they're not on Big Bag Toy Store, they're not on Entertainment Earth. I don't know if they will be up for sale at any points. I don't know how it actually works because, well, they're not there, and I kind of looked on the website and didn't really see them. But yeah, assuming that they go on sale at some point, these are actually a really cool accessory that I would recommend getting if you pick up one of the figures. Get the one that goes with the figure, because you'll get two little bodies like this. Again, you'll get an extra pair of hands, which in this case are fists, which, funny enough, would have been another complaint I would have had if it didn't come with this. Now, for, I guess, everybody who buys the figures, they won't be getting a pair of fists, because you'll just be getting the base thing, which is the figure, the two heads, the open hands, the hands to hold things, and the accessories. A pair of fists is one of the things I always say that I think every action figure, almost every action figure, should have. It would have to be a really specific reason for you not to have a pair of fists. And yeah, they included it with these ones, which is really good, because I do feel like this is kind of a must-have accessory with this, because it just adds a lot to it. I don't know what any type of retail price for it is or would be, but just want to put that out there. And the reason I actually really like this is because, again, it's two blank bodies, more or less blank bodies, comes with an extra pair of hands, and then when you have the regular figure, which I didn't mention, but the hands that hold the weapons, first of all, they're pliable enough that you can open them so you can stick the weapons in there without feeling like you're going to break them, which is already a good thing. Next thing is that they did put the joints in the right direction, so he can hold it the right way. That's a good bonus. I know a lot of people hate when, like, other companies don't do that. But yeah, so if you take your regular figure who has the extra two hands and the extra two heads, then combine it with the little crate, you get two more figures. That not only you get two more figures, but you have a place for the extra accessories that your main figure came with. So if for some reason you decide you don't want the box, maybe you're not a box collector, you just want to throw it away because you don't have room for whatever reason, these little figures will hold your accessories for you, and then you can just swap them out with the bigger figure, or, you know, whatever you want to do. So we can just take the little weapon holding hands and just pop them on, if I can get it in right. So we'll say right now that the hands aren't the easiest to pop on. Only one of them actually made a nice notable popping sound when I put it on. So if you have any issues, again, heat it up and it should slide on a lot easier. But hands on here, and then again, you can just get the heads and then put those on. If I can get this guy to balance. If I move his, yeah, there we go. Move his hands down, and that works. And then get that guy there. And just like that, we have our Captain Teel with a couple of, I guess they're called hatchlings. Again, we need lore, we need backstory, we need to know more. Are these actually children, or are these just like, I don't know what you would want to call them, just like little henchmen that work around with them? Are these the guys who just kind of man the ship with him, or are they children? Because they'll say hatchlings, it makes me think they're children, but they have the full-grown head. So whatever it is, it's cool, and I do like it. It adds to it because now we have all the accessories, or all the extra hands and heads in use, and it gives us a little bit more, a little bit extra, and I actually really like that. And again, if you wanted to just pop on the weapons here, the hands are pretty soft. Just kind of slide it on in there. Might be a little bit heavy for this guy, because there is unfortunately no leg articulation on these guys. Not a big deal. I wish they had it. Yeah, I wish that we could at least rotate them up and down, but I don't actually see the purpose of it either, because if you don't have that ankle articulation, or if you can't move it certain ways, it's not really going to help too much. Though I guess if we could move it up and down, like, we could put them in like a sitting pose, but it is what it is. I think that actually is pretty good, and I, again, really have no complaints here with this. It's a great little accessory set. I did look up and see some of the other accessory sets that they have either planned or whatever they're doing include some actual accessories like weapons and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I would love to see in the future. Is it's just a nice pack of, like, here's a sword, or here's 3 swords, another hat, maybe a different vest, or here's a sword, here's a rope, here's a treasure chest. Maybe something like that would be cool. Actually, what would be really cool is if they made a treasure chest, like actual treasure chest accessory, and then put stuff inside it. That's a thing I would like to see in the future. Just putting it out there because, again, pirates. But overall, I think these are pretty good figures. Their retail price is about $40, if I'm remembering correctly, on Big Bad Toy Store and on Entertainment Earth. So it's a little bit more expensive than I would personally like. but knowing that they do come from a Kickstarter, they're more of an independent company, not a bad price, to be fair. I mean, the figure itself actually feels really nice. It's really good quality. I will mention that, when it comes to things like into joints and everything, be careful because you might get some paint chippage like that right there. But overall, I do like these figures. Just really quick before I completely forget, because I was already starting to, here's a look at the Plunderling next to Sonic right here. Teel, his name is Teel, I gotta remember that. But next to Sonic, he's a little bit bigger. The Figma Link, because like I said, reminds me of goblins. If we had more scarier faces, which I guess the teeth open one kind of works, I would actually really like to pose a bunch of these with Link fighting them. I think that would be really cool, but I feel like they're supposed to be friendly. Again, I want backstory. I want to know more about Captain Teel. I want to know what his journey has been and everything like that. That's the kind of person I am. I really love stories. I really love fantasy and pirates, and it's just something that I would actually really like to know. Is I want more. I want a backstory. And there he is next to the TMNT Leonardo. I think they fit in with all of these pretty well. I mean, the flatness mixes in with him really good. Anthropomorphic kind of ish. I mean, it's more like a goblin looking thing, but fits in with Sonic. And because of the same thing with the paint and just the way he looks, I feel like he fits in with the NECA figures pretty well, and he's a pretty decent size too, so there is that. And honestly, I think I might end up picking up a few more of these because they're pretty fun. They're really nice. I've been interested in them for a while, so, getting a message from them and asking if I wanted to review one was definitely something I was looking forward to. And I do want to see what more they put out in the future, because some of the ones that they've shown as previews for the next batch is actually really nice, and I'm definitely interested in those as well. But yeah, any criticisms really lie just in the fact that the photo in the back is a little bit fuzzy. Don't know, again, if that's just DPI being set wrong, or maybe the quality of the photo sent to the printer was not perfect, but that's just one thing there. I do really want a backstory. I'm going to keep saying it because I feel like we need it, and if there is a backstory, I apologize. I couldn't find anything on the websites. There's nothing on the box, so definitely a little backstory would be great on the characters, and yeah, not really much else to say other than, yeah, I would recommend it. Again, check out Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and yeah, that's pretty much my review on the Captain Teel action figure by Lone Coconut. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I might pick up a few more of these in the future and do a few videos on them. Definitely looking forward for some pictures of this guy because I already have a good idea in mind. And yeah, anyways, that'll be it, and I will see you all later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.